Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm talking about in today's video is how to get the most out of your Call of Duty Modern Warfare 64-player experience, the 32v32 mode, Ground War, and specifically this video is geared towards Battlefield players. I think it's generally helpful to anybody, but the reason that I point out Battlefield players specifically is that I'm actually a bit of a Battlefield player myself. I haven't really been interested in Battlefield 5 at all, but I played a fair bit of Battlefield 1, I played a bit of Battlefield 4, I played a lot of Battlefield 3, and a lot of Bad Company 2 back in the day. And so I have a pretty good experience with those games, and I really enjoy these larger modes. It's something that I've actually wanted a good mode in Call of Duty for a while, like a lot of people, I think. And so I follow some Battlefield YouTubers. I follow Jack Frags and Level Cap Gaming and people like that, and I was very interested during this beta what their feedback on it was, what thoughts they had on it, because they're even more ingrained in the Battlefield community than I am, obviously. And one complaint that I saw a lot of people have, whether it was Twitter or in Level Cap Gaming's videos actually specifically, pointed out that they thought the kill streaks didn't necessarily belong in Modern Warfare's 32v32 mode. And I'll be completely honest, even though I'm a very big Call of Duty player and I know how everything works in this game, I kind of agreed with them initially. I didn't have the greatest experience the first day that they released this mode into the beta, but once they started to increase the level cap, once I got a little bit more used to it, my experience changed, and I think it's for a couple very important reasons that I want to point out in today's video that I think is going to help a lot of you players, especially if you're coming from the Battlefield community, out. And so, number one, the level cap in the beta was 20. Even when this mode was released, it was 20. The problem with that is that in Call of Duty, everything, every tool you have access to, every new weapon, perk, everything is dependent on what level you are. And level cap is 55 in this game, and in the beta, when they released this mode, it was only 20. The issue with that, like I said, is that everything you unlock, every tool you have, is dependent on level. So you got a lot of players running very similar loadouts, very similar streaks, very similar things, and that may not actually happen in the full game. So that's not as representative to what we'll actually be playing on launch. So it's not 100% fair judgment there. But number two, and more importantly related to that level cap, is that once they increased the level cap to 30, and we had access to more things and people's loadouts diversified a little bit more, the experience changed, specifically in relation to what I'm going to be recommending you set up in this video today, because what I will recommend that you run, especially if you're a Battlefield player who doesn't just want to sit in C building and shoot over the bridge on, say, this map, or any similar location in the other maps, you're going to want to run around, outside, roam around, not get destroyed by these anti-personnel vehicles, not get destroyed by kill streaks, not get seen on the radar all the time by snipers. You want to have a bit more freedom than that. I get it. Like I said, I'm a big Battlefield fan myself, so my playstyle in these modes isn't just holding down C flag and spraying across the bridge either, and I wanted to feel that out. So you're going to want to run Cold-Blooded and Ghost. I also ran Spotter, but you don't have to run Spotter as your third perk, but those first two do matter. So Cold-Blooded is your blue perk. What that does is it keeps AI targeting systems from seeing you. So when a cruise missile comes down and there's that red targeting box around a player, they don't have that. They could still see your movement if they're a bit of an eagle-eyed, keen-eyed player, but they won't have this auto-targeting red box that highlights you and goes, hey, there's a guy, kill him. When the VTOL jet, aka the Harrier strike, comes into the map and it hovers, or any of the attack helicopters, they don't see you, they won't target you, they won't buzz you down over and over again, and this gives you a significant amount more freedom to roam the map, just as I'm doing in this video. That's literally what I'm running. And I would also recommend you run a suppressor on your weapon. You don't have to, that's not a necessary thing, but I felt like it helped a lot, and a relatively flexible optic like the hybrid sight here, so I can have a little bit of long-range functionality and a little bit of closer range. That's not a necessary, but as I said, Cold-Blooded and Ghost absolutely are. And so what Ghost does, if you're not new to Call of Duty, by the way, I'm sure this explanation is not necessarily needed, but what Ghost does is it keeps you off the radar. As long as you're moving above a certain percentage of your max movement speed, and it's pretty low, so you can just kind of be like crouch walking, barely moving around a little bit, in buildings, whatever, skulking around in some trees, you'll stay off the radar. So even though they could have 8 UAVs in the air, they won't see you on that radar. So you can sneak around, you can sneak towards their spawn, you can get on, say, we're on A and B side, you can go all the way out to D and E and cap D like I'm doing now, without everyone seeing you on radar, without getting pinned down by streaks, without getting stuck in a specific position, and it helps quite a bit. And I think this would have helped the Battlefield players, the Battlefield YouTubers specifically, because that was their complaint. The complaint was, well, I just got cruise missiled over and over and over. Somebody'd call a helicopter and I just couldn't go outside, and we all fought over C-Flag. And that's valid. I do think part of that was the beta, not just, Battlefield players not necessarily knowing how all of the Call of Duty systems worked. For that first day or two that this mode was in there before they raised the level cap, you didn't have access to Cold-Blooded at all. Cold-Blooded, I think, is unlocked at 25 or 26, so you had no real way to counteract that, but to just kind of stay inside or set up a rocket and shoot those streaks down, which is always an option, but that can give your position away too. You can also get shot while you're aiming at the thing, so it's not the best. I think the best thing to do is run Cold-Blooded, run Ghost like I am here, and personally, if you're going to try and do what I'm doing, which is sticking around the outskirts a little bit, poke them near their spawns, contest their spawns, keep attention away from those more center flags, and make the battle happen over more of the map, you're going to need ammo. So I'm running the munitions box that I just put down. I went from having no ammo in reserve to having another 90 rounds in reserve. I reloaded, and we're good to go. I can slay out again. I think this is extremely helpful. It's not crucial depending on how you're playing, but I think if you're trying to sit somewhere up high, away from everybody and snipe, or you're trying to, go around the outskirts and just poke at them a little bit, and you don't necessarily have the ability to run in and grab weapons or grab ammo all the time, I think this matters. And that's going to kind of do it for the commentary portion of this video, guys. I do hope that this was helpful to you, whether you're a Call of Duty player or maybe a Battlefield player checking out the COD franchise this year due to this 32v32 mode. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. I imagine most of you are pretty new around here. And I will see you guys in the next one. I'm going to be making a lot of Modern Warfare videos as this game progresses. I'm extremely excited. I hope you guys are too. Go ahead and follow me at the links down below on Mixer, Twitter, wherever you feel like. Do it to your heart's content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, goodbye.
All right. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Friendly UAV overhead. Got a VTOL on station, ready to deploy.